Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good myself. I've got some models here that have fallen into the abyss, but have been refound. Some Hobby Japan stuff. So these are actually my first Hobby Japans. So I have these three right here, and then I also picked up this Mitsubishi a while back. I really like Hobby Japan. I think they do some really good stuff. I don't really have any experience with their quality or anything, but they make a lot of really cool cars. And I thought these Toyota Chasers were really, really cool. And so I picked them up a while back when they hit our C-Mart. So there's these two racing ones right here in the red and white scheme. I believe these both ran the same event. Yeah, they're both from 1997 Japan Touring Car Championship. And I don't know, I thought they were really cool. And so I picked them up, and then after I picked them up, I was like, well, the black presentation version of it is pretty cool too. And I couldn't resist. I picked it up as well. So this was the test car. So yeah, I have all three of these. Again, I don't have any experience with Hobby Japan, although I do really like their stuff. So this is going to be like my first ever Hobby Japan video that I've done. And I'm pretty excited for it. Plus this also clears some space off of my desk too. Finally starting to work through some of the stuff that's been sitting here forever. So, but yeah, big shout out to any of you that joined the live stream last night. It was pretty fun. We went over the Diecast news. I had a good time. Definitely have some more streams in the future. But yeah, I also have a pile of mail, like boxes of mail that I've received kind of accumulating. So I've been thinking about doing a stream maybe this weekend, just opening up some mail and chilling. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, we'll jump into this. So pretty standard packaging. In fact, I believe this is the same size as Tarmac Works. In fact, I have one sitting here. So the length looks to be the same. The width also looks to be the same, and I believe the height is the same as well. So yeah, these are the same exact size acrylics as Tarmac Works, so they'll fit in any like of that standard size protector, which is nice. And then pretty standard, got the cardboard sleeve. This is Hobby Japan's like racing line. I think it's different from their mainline stuff. In fact, they have different packaging. So this is all their regular stuff. They usually come in this dark blue. And this one is just themed a little bit differently. So this is like, they both have the HJ64, but it says racing development. So I believe all their racing stuff is like done in a separate subline. But anyways, there's all the warnings and stuff on the bottom. And then here's the information on the back. You can see Toyota official licensed product. And then, yeah, Toyota Chaser 1997 JTCC test car. And then it does have this number at the top. So HJ, Hobby Japan, R, I'm assuming stands for racing, as it says racing development at the front. So Hobby Japan Racing 64 scale. And then this is number 1072A, I believe is how they do their codes for those. So, but yeah, standard size, acrylic and everything, nothing real special here. Just got a regular black plinth. I think we can go ahead and take these off of the bases. Looks like it's held on with a singular screw. And then I'm assuming, oh, I don't want to lose that. I'm assuming there's some pegs on the bottom. Yep, there is. So, just like pretty much any other die cast. So there is that. And here's the car. So, it's a really cool car. The one thing I did notice about these is there's no tire printing on the tires for any of them, which I haven't really looked into the Chasers from JTCC too much, so I don't really know that it needs it. I'm assuming maybe it doesn't, but the details on Hobby Japan stuff always looks really, really crisp, and so I was curious to take a look. So first off, the base. It is a plastic base, which I kind of could already tell because the weight of it was a bit lighter than you would expect. So plastic bases on these, which doesn't excite me too much. I definitely wish all these companies could switch to just doing metal. I know it's more expensive to do, but a model with a metal base just always feels better. It does say Hobby Japan on the bottom, but there's no name of the car or anything. And then there's also this exhaust back here, which looks pretty nice. That's like a whole separate piece that's glued onto the bottom. It's a little bit, it's not really lined up with this plastic exhaust piece that's molded into the bottom, but that's not a big deal to me. The exhaust does look pretty good though. Pretty nicely detailed. But yeah, this is the test car, so it's just got this glossy black paint. It does have the OZ racing wheels, which do have the logos printed onto the wheels, which is really nice. And then that silver center lug right there. Wheels look really good. The tires are real thin. There are some flat spots on these tires, I am noticing. This is the most noticeable one right here. You can see it from the side too. So tighten a little bit down, a little bit too tight down on the base maybe. And then I think this one over here has a little bit of a flat spot too. Not as bad though. The back wheels, I'm not seeing, yeah, the back wheels have the flat spots too, which is pretty common with a lot of diecast that comes on acrylic. That's not really a knock to Hobby Japan. It helps when they can get them on the base and like keep the wheels off, or just not tighten them down quite as much at the factory. But yeah, the wheels look pretty good. These do not seem like the models that are going to... That is not what we want to do. There's a big antenna on it. Ugh. Anyways, these don't seem like the type of models that are going to roll. In fact, I already know this one doesn't. The wheels do move freely, like you can spin them, but they're just a little bit too tight. Like the stance is a little bit too tight up against the fender for them to actually just roll, which I honestly don't mind. Actually, that one's peeling the wheel, the actual tire off when I try to roll it. So yeah, I don't really mind the non-rolling models. I know that's kind of a big point for a lot of collectors, and I understand it. For me, I don't really mind. But yeah, these do not roll. I mean, maybe the other ones do. I'm doubting it because it's the same casting. But yeah, every time I roll it to like get the tire back on, it peels more of the tire off the wheel. But anyways, the whole stance and everything looks really good. Really like the white wheels with this black theme. And then other than that, it's pretty simple. Toyota and the TRD badge on the side right there. Nice silver trim going around the window, which I do really like. And then there's a giant metal silver roll cage in there. Well, it's not metal, but it's plastic on this, but silver roll cage on the interior. I'm trying to see if there's any other interior detail. I'm not really seeing too much, except for they do have the harnesses painted onto the seat. So there's some red, some yellow, some black lettering, some silver for the buckles. So that is pretty cool. I'm trying to see if there's a Toyota badge on the steering wheel, but I don't see anything. Other than that, pretty plain interior, but I do like that they did do that harness and the roll cage colored. Definitely adds a lot. But yeah, the banner right here, Toyota Racing Development TRD, looks really good. The windshield wiper, I was trying to see if it was a separate piece, but it looks like that is just molded into the windshield, which honestly is fine. Just less room for parts to break off, and it looks good. The mirrors are actually pretty detailed. They're not rubber. They are just going to be stiff plastic, but they do have the little reflective stickers in them. And then it has this giant antenna on the top of the car, which if I'm being honest with you, I don't really like. That is way, way, way too big for 1/64 scale. Antennas never really scale down well to 1/64 anyways, so I don't really ever care if they're there. And then if there's a company, like a lot of times Tarmac Works will try to make them super thin, which is nice, but then it also makes them more fragile. As you can see, I just dropped this thing on its roof and this didn't break, so obviously it's... Actually, I'm wondering if this is metal. But yeah, it doesn't scale down well, so to me, it doesn't really look that good. This kind of looks like an RC car to me, with this giant antenna on it. So, if they could make them really thin and really strong, like if they could do like a really thin piece of like wire metal, that would look fine, I think, but this big plastic antenna just doesn't really look that great. Like I said, it kind of makes it look like an RC car. So that's one thing I would probably change about these. And then here on the back, massive rear wing. This thing sticks up really tall. I'm wondering why it stuck up that tall. But it's pretty well done. Glossy black paint is pretty nice on it. There's no metal wing supports. These are just plastic. So again, another part to be careful with. But it looks pretty good. Here's the rear end. Again, that exhaust tip looks pretty nice. And the taillights look really, really good to me. Acrylic, of course, and then you've got the red and then the white or silver in the center, and it's actually got like some texture behind it for like where all the bulbs would go, and it looks really nice. There's the TRD on the license plate, and then there's this little silver patch like right above the exhaust. I'm not sure why, but... And then last but not least, the front end right here. Let's check out the headlights. They've actually got some pretty nice bulb detail back behind the lenses. You can see those little brown silver bulbs back there. A little bit of orange on the side for the blinkers. Headlights look pretty good. The acrylic's nice and clear. This one on this side looks a little cloudy on camera, but it is not cloudy in person. I don't know what's going on with my lens, but yeah, looks really good on the headlights. I like the silver around that center grill, the TRD on the front license plate. Overall, it looks really good. I like this car quite a bit. Again, really the major thing for me is the antenna, and I'm not sure if these have brake details or not. With the way that the wheels are attached with these little silver pegs that are in there, I'm assuming these do have brake details, but it's really tough to see in there, even if I put it under direct light off camera. Oh, I can see a little bit. Yeah, they do have brake details. Yeah, so there's a rotor and a caliper in there, so that's good at least. But just really hard to see with these wheels. But anyways, there's the test car. Let's go ahead and jump into these two as well. So again, both from the same series, 1997 Japan Touring Car Championship. This is Hobby Japan Racing 64 scale 1072B. So they do it like casting number and then A, B, C, etc. for all of the different colors. So I'm assuming this is C. Yep, it is. So that's how their numbering scheme works. And this is the Zent Eclipse Chaser. And then there's the licensing right there. So same packaging as the test car. I'll go ahead and get both of these opened up now. Just go ahead and take them both off the bases real quick. But yeah, overall pretty nice. I'm liking them so far. Again, just a couple minor complaints that are, the antenna part's casting specific. That's not really just doesn't seem like a widespread Hobby Japan model. I actually don't see them do a lot of race cars in general. But yeah, so far everything looks pretty good on them. I am liking it so far. I will definitely be picking up more Hobby Japans just depending on what comes out. But yeah, seems like they're pretty slow to release products too. But anyway, so here is the Zent Eclipse one. And it looks pretty good. So I'm trying, since this one has a pretty big livery, I'm trying to see if this uses a lot of decals. And it kind of looks like it does. Yeah, there's quite a bit of decals going around it. In fact, I think most of the major livery is. I think the red is painted on it. So I think that what they do is they paint the whole car red. And then all the sponsorship logos and the white part of the livery, I think, is all decal. Which I'm not necessarily super mad at, as long as it's done well, and it looks like this is done pretty well. If you, obviously if you zoom in with bright lighting, you can see, the imperfections in the actual, paper, whatever the material is of the decal. But honestly, just kind of looking at it like this, it actually looks pretty good. If you kind of just, obviously, don't zoom in and look at it in 4K. No diecast car is going to look good at that point, but overall looks pretty good. But yes, there are a lot of decals on it for anyone wondering. And yeah, again, these are not going to roll. Wheels do spin, but yeah, they just don't roll. The stance is too accurate, which I do like. Again, same OZ Racing wheels, really nice. There is brake detail back behind there. It's just so hard to see with those wheels. But yeah, the brake detail's there. And yeah, everything looks pretty good. Livery's nice. It's got these little decals over the acrylic lights, but all the details behind there, it's still got those round bulbs. So I really do like that. Yeah, just really, really nice. I like the livery on these. Just really love 90s era racing. Just super cool. Number 36 box on the side with the big Eclipse. It's got Yokohama. Oh no, that's Yokogawa. I don't know what Yokogawa is. But yeah, all kinds of sponsorship logos. Obviously, you've got Tom's, Toyota, OZ Racing. Looks like we've got some Corona at the front, Michelin. Very, very cool. There's some more on the side right there as well. Corona Extra, Yuasa, Super Ram, Barrel, TRD, all kinds of cool stuff on this. So very cool. Wing on the back, kind of like a two-tone, so the supports are black, and then the rest of it's white. And then you've got the little Tom's logos on each side. They kept the silver roll cage on the interior, as well as the harness. The harness is actually a different color, though. It's actually blue and yellow for this one. So that's kind of interesting. Windshield has a little bit of residue on it, but oh, there's some residue around that windshield wiper too. I'll have to try to clean that off at some point. But yeah, really nice. Again, taillights look really good. Nothing on the license plate for this one, which is kind of interesting. They apparently, I'm assuming these didn't have license plates in the series, so there's nothing there, but it actually has like the mounting holes and everything for the plate, which is something I don't typically see brands do. Most of the time they just leave that part flat, but they actually went in and detailed the actual like mounting part on the back of the car right there. So that's really, really cool. That is really neat. Exhaust on the bottom again looks good. Big massive antenna on the top, which again, just I don't know, just doesn't look that good to me. But there's the stuff on the top: Eclipse, Zent, the number 36, this logo right here, Jim something. There's the windshield banner. Yeah, overall it looks really good. It's got Toyota Chaser on the top as well. Really, really like this. So there's the Eclipse Zent version, and then here is the Esso version, and here is the back of the packaging. So 1072C is the number, and then Esso Tonen Tom's Chaser number 37. And here it is. So it looks like both of these cars were sponsored by Tom's. But I like how they go together. Obviously, I'm assuming these raced on the same team, just obviously different main sponsors, but really, really cool. The wheels again look nice, and then yeah, same sort of decal usage, but it really doesn't look that bad. Like everything looks pretty good to me. So Esso on the side, obviously the name of the drivers on the side of the windows as well. This one was in Japanese, and then this one was driven by Crumb. Very, very cool. And the liveries look pretty similar. Like all the mains, like all the little sponsorship logos look the same to me. Not really seeing a whole lot of differences. Just obviously the main sponsor. So this is the Esso one. The other one was the Eclipse. So really like the logos on the headlights. It just, I don't know, it just looks really cool. Love the white and red theme of these. So yeah, very nice. Here's the back of this one as well. Yeah, I'm impressed with these so far. Looks like this one also has the blue and yellow harness in there. Yeah, I like these. These are really cool. I think like if I could change one thing about them, it would be to either just remove the antennas or just make them a lot skinnier somehow. But these are really nice. I'll try to throw up photos of these if I can find them. So here's the Esso one. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but I don't know how successful I'll be, but I'll definitely throw some pictures up of these if I can find them. Here's the Eclipse one as well. Super, super cool. I just love the whole theme of these. And nobody else really does these, so when I saw Hobby Japan release them, I was like, I gotta get those, right? That's just too cool to pass up. So yeah, went ahead and grabbed them. I like them. I don't know if I'll be able to find pictures of the test car, but if I can, I'll put this up as well. But yeah, out of all three of these, RC Mart got them, and I haven't paid attention to any other platforms, but of all three of these, this test car was the only one that actually sold out. They sold out a while back. So if you are interested in getting these are both on RC Mart. I'll put up on screen what I paid for them, or just what they're listed for right now. I think they were around 20 to 25 bucks. I think they were like 22 and some change when I ordered them. So about the same price as like a Tarmac Works Hobby 64. And I think these stack up pretty nicely against Tarmac Works stuff. So definitely worth the money, I think, especially for how cool they are. But anyways, that's about it for this one. I'll let you guys go now. This is a little bit longer than we normally do for videos, which, I mean, it does make sense. We did do 3. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll catch you in the next one.